When you have hair loss, it can be such a scary and deceivingly lonely place. But you know what? You're not alone. You are here with me. Welcome to the Alternative Hair Alchemist podcast. Hi, I'm Debra. I am a certified alternative hair specialist, a wig boutique owner, and wig wearer myself due to alopecia. And this is my Tell It Like It Is take on all things alternative hair. I also happen to be a certified confidence coach, so I'm going to be sprinkling in some mindset hacks for good measure. So take a deep breath, sit back and relax, and listen to my favorite ways and my best advice on how I help others and help myself to rock that alternative hair. We're going to drop that shame and stigma. What is that about anyway? Now, let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of The Alternative Hair Alchemist. So this week's episode is going to be relatively short and sweet because the shop has been super busy and I've been going to seminars to keep up on my education, but I didn't want to let a week pass without at least passing on some information that could be useful to somebody. So this week, I'm going to talk about men's alternative hair and just how far it's come. Now, I've talked about it before, how when I first started, the technology in the fibers, constructions, colors, in just about all the alternative hair has come a long way. Well, the same thing for the men's, and there's been a few changes. There used to be primarily human hair for men's wigs because, again, men would insist upon human hair because the old story that they're thinking it's going to look more natural than synthetic. And at one time it probably did, but no longer. So the shift I have seen in men's alternative hair is for the full units to go from human hair to either the 60-40 blend, such as Hair You Wear offers, or completely stylable heat synthetic fibers. And the one thing that sometimes people don't know is that anytime you see a gray color in a wig that's labeled as human hair, the gray color is always a synthetic fiber. So sometimes that's something that you can keep in mind when you're looking, say you're spending time looking for a human hair wig in gray. That's why you're not likely to see one unless you take it to a color specialist like Natalie of Strands and Fireflies, who I swear can duplicate any color in anything and every style. She is truly an alchemist in her own right, and I will be talking to her soon on an episode of The Alternative Hair Alchemist. You'll want to be sure to stay tuned and listen to that one because, again, if you're going to spend money on human hair, make sure that you trust the person that you're taking it to or buying it from. And I'm sure there are other wonderful people out there that can do just as good of a good job. But if I recommend somebody, I have taken my work to them and I trust them. But hopefully we'll be highlighting more places that you can get alternative hair from. So the other thing that you may be interested in with the men's alternative hair is the wig cap sizes generally are larger or the equivalent to the large styles in women's line. So I know that sometimes when your head measures 23 or more, sometimes finding a style can be a challenge. Well, one of the things that's often overlooked is to check out the men's styles. And a style came out recently from HIM, H-I-M, which is also Raquel Welch Wigs and Hair You Wear. It's called Admirable. Now, this is a beautiful, long, it looks kind of like the men that are on the covers of the romantic historical novels. It's got some length to it, and that would be a beautiful alternative if you can't find a comfortable fit in some of the ladies' wigs. I just mentioned that because I do have a couple people that come to my shop that wear short or shorter hair, and it's been my go-to. Hair You Wear, him, Ellen Villa, and Belle Madame all have beautiful men's styles. Now, especially the Hair You Wear, they have really kicked up that collection, and there are many, many styles. And I think that there may even be some men out there that don't know that a full wig is an option, and you can totally change your look. I was doing a video with one of the styles from Ellen Villa. It's called Dave. The color is amazing. It kind of has that surfer Johnny Depp type look. And I had Chris model it. And I'll tell you, when he put the wig on, it really did look like a whole different person. And not saying it looked like a wig, because the construction is amazing with the lace front. And it was just really, the transformation you can do with alternative hair always blows me away. And I think as far as stigma and alternative hair, I think men even have it a little bit worse or just as bad as women with the fear and what have you. And I'll tell you why. Because when men's hair pieces first came out, they really were a thing that were very expensive. But then, there's always people willing to produce a cheap alternative to it. And during the late 60s, early 70s, there were some really, really bad hair pieces out there. And so then they became the butt of the joke. So I believe just that fear alone drove men away from it. As you know, bald came in pretty big as a style. And of course, that looks amazing too. There are many, many types of beauty. But I do think the fear has kept men from looking at that. Generally, it's your most determined men that are going to look for alternative hair. And that is fine too, because I'll tell you, everybody likes to have their own hair. Whether you're a guy, whether you're a girl, I think guys just don't verbalize it as much. And I think if it was more generally accepted that, yeah, I'm a dude, I wear a wig, then it would be a lot better for everybody, because then the stigma would go down the whole world around. And don't forget, same thing with the sizing with some of the men's top pieces. And again, all of the companies I mentioned have top piece choices. Raquel or him has one top piece, but mainly they are full units. So I'm going to post a link to that in my group, to the men's collection from Hair You Wear, him, from Ellen Villa, and from Belle Madame, because it may be of interest to somebody you know. It may even be of interest for yourself if you've been looking for a cap that's going to give you a little bit more room. And the styles are all just as you would for the ladies. Some of them have a mono top, some of them don't. Some have mono part, full mono, there's hand tied. And again, you have your selection. Very few human hair available. I found one company or one person that I do get them from in California, but the cost for a men's human's hair wig it's through the roof. But that's the way it is with alternative hair. It's supply and demand. And just the simple fact that it costs so much to produce something that's not going to be as popular, well, guess what happens? The price per piece goes up. So for the men that it makes the difference, they want it. And I agree with that. If something makes a difference in your life, you deserve it. And again, don't underestimate that new wig energy. I'm telling you, when I allow myself to get a new style, and yes, you might think that I have every wig in the world, but I don't. I'm a woman, just like everybody else, and I put other people first. But I do know when I allow myself that magic, good things happen. So look for the links in my group, Wise Wig Advice, on Facebook. And if there's a subject for a podcast that you would like me to hear me speak on, please submit it to me via email. You can find me at debraheim.com and verybestlittlehairhouse.com. And until next week, peace, love, and alternative hair. If you enjoyed this episode, you might like working with me one-on-one even better. You can check out the options at debraheim.com. You can find my shop at verybestlittlehairhouse.com. And don't forget my Wise Wig Advice and Support group, also on Facebook. I'd love to hear from you. But until next time, peace, love, and alternative hair.